Hello everyone, Reed back here with my Monster Hunter playthrough. This time we're going to be taking on the Urgent for 6-star village, the Duramboros. This thing is kind of like a big ox, I guess, with a globe for a tail. I don't know how to describe it. But when I was playing this sequence and sort of just thinking what does this look like? It looks kind of like a bull, but then it kind of doesn't look like a bull. And I think an ox is a pretty good summary of what it is. I'm not saying that, it's strictly exactly just a big old ox, but no, it's, it's Monster Hunter-fied. And this one I actually did know where it spawned, so that was a good, very good for the running, and here it is, so I'll shut up. Alright, so, cool little intro. This is I think one of the few monsters that got ported to Monster Hunter 3U that didn't sorta, they improved it, or tried to improve it, I should say, but really kinda didn't. And that's a bit of a bummer, because, I mean, it's not a bad monster in 3U, but what they did is they just gave it, a ridiculous amount of health. I mean, way more than it should have. And so it kind of it's a very, I don't know what to say, it didn't transfer well. So, all they really did was buff the health. Also, this is something not a lot of people know, is if you can get inside of, sort of orbit range of that tail, you can knock it down, and it opens up the back humps, which you can use, or you can hit to do a ton of damage after you break them open. And I think you get an item from them. But anyways, what I was saying, the what was I saying? Oh god, I completely lost it there. Yeah, I don't know. It'll probably come back to me. Whatever. But yeah, so this thing's moves, it kind of uses its tail to attack for the most part. It has that move, which it launches itself at you. And this was, at this point, I specifically remember thinking oh crap, I should have gemmed out Taunt on my armor, but alas, that was not the case. So, I have to deal with it focusing me, but I guess it doesn't really matter because my cats die really fast. Now, in normal mode, it's pretty easy. It's not, not a big deal. But also, that move there is one that didn't really get, transferred to 3U, I don't believe. If I remember right, it's it just does the one side, one side, whatchamacallit? One side sort of, swoop, I guess. And so that caught me off guard. Also, this is something not a lot of people know, maybe, I don't know. If you attack its face in between the horns, you won't bounce off, but if you hit the horns themselves, you will. So here I just zoned myself. That was to sort of prevent me getting comboed and dying from its tail slam. I think it's a legitimate strategy. I mean, obviously it can really screw you if you're playing with a good amount of people, but for the most part, it works well. And it's one of those things where oh crap, I'm down to yellow sharpness and I'm alone in here, I need to zone myself. That's fine. However, when you're like, oh, I took one hit of damage, I need to zone myself. No, don't do that. Just you know, you're not going to improve as a player if you are constantly sort of taking shortcuts like that. Not saying that, you know, zoning yourself is a shortcut, but it's a, it's not, you know, something you should really rely on. Like, it's sort of, it's like a crutch. Similar to the way that, oh, what is it? Also there, I broke the stair, that was nice. Sort of how, like, evasion +1 can be a crutch. Like, I mean, or well, I guess evasion +2 more so than evasion +1. So here I was trying to mine its tail. You can mine its tail once after you've cracked it like that. I think you just get, like, a Duramboros scale or something. I don't remember what things gave me. So yeah, you see there, I hit the horn and then I bounced off, then I hit the face. But yeah, like, I mean, you can think of it as a crutch, but like, it's a crutch when, you know, you rely on it. But if you use it effectively, it's not really a crutch anymore. So say, like, this part was just ridiculous, so I finally killed that thing. Trying to sharpen 3 times and got hit by that thing every time. Bullshit. Let me tell you what. So anyways, like, I mean, if you have a set with sharpness, or evasion +2 on it, you know, you better be using it to, like, deal a significant amount of damage in return for using it. Because, I mean, A, it doesn't do you any good to just have it on there and just not really use it. It's like, it'll be like having sharpness +1 on, like, a weapon that doesn't... It's not, you know, worth it. Also, I was very surprised by that, like, the radius, or not radius, the width of the horn sort of thrust. That kind of really surprised me. So here I'm going for the knockdown, and I don't get it, but sort of knock it out of doing the jump, which is nice. And but anyways, back to what I was saying. Like, you can use evasion +2. Like, there's no problem with that. I mean, sure, you might, like, by some people you might get looked down upon, but if, you know, you're using it effectively and, you know, really max or pushing the potential that it gives you, it's a good offensive skill. So say in this situation, see, if I had evasion +2, I just roll through that slam, and then I get back into hitting it, and I get, like, maybe 1 or 2 more hits in. And it's, like, you're obviously not going to get, like, a big advantage, like, oh, I can hit, like, 50 more times, well, you can only hit twice. That's obviously an exaggeration, but, you know, if you, use it, like, see there, if I had evasion +2, I could get in, but, I mean, I'm not going to be doing much, because it's just, you can't really knock it down when it's in rage mode, but that sort of thought, like, I can do more things than I once could, and now I'm going to use it. And I feel like that's lost on a lot of people that, you know, use those sorts of abilities. It's a bummer, because they're not bad abilities. That was really close, also. So here I'm going to mine the tail. Nothing special. Get a... something. Can't read that. Too much kanji. But, you know, if you call it a crutch, you know, you... like, it's a crutch for some people, but it's not a crutch for others. And that was really nice. And also there's a counter which you never see. Like, apparently this thing can counter when you stagger it, but A, the amount of times you stagger it, and the amount of times it counters is like 0.1%. It's ridiculous. But it has killed me a few times, and it's not new to me. So I knew it was. But anyways, like, what's a crutch to one person is, like, a really good advantage to another. And that's something that's kind of lost on a lot of people, I think. Because, say, you know, it, like, I mean, and if you think, you know, evasion +2 is, like, a serious crutch, then, you know, maybe it's, well, it's to say that you don't think all skills are a crutch. And at that point, what have you got? You've got some wonky-ish combat with no real advantages given to you, beyond, yeah, just not at all, really. I mean, weapon or armor skills kind of really make this game it makes not only the game unique, but it makes your, like, character unique. Because, I mean, my character right now obviously doesn't have much, you know, much going for him in terms of what's special, what's unique. But say I'm at the end game, I might have, you know, a mix set that gives me a ton of things and looks pretty cool. Whereas if you're just using like a whole armor set of one monster, you know, maybe you get the good, but you also get the bad. And I mean, if you then see a person that's not using armor, what's the point? Like, why are you playing this game? I mean, because you don't contribute anything really if you're playing with a group of people and you don't have, you know, armor skills. Like, sure, you're contributing your damage, but you're not, you know, going to be doing as much as you could be doing. And it's a bummer when people say like, oh, Evasion's a crutch, blah 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 blah. I mean, it can be, but at the same time, it can, you know, not be. So here I knock it down, I believe. Oh nope, didn't get it off. That's oh yeah, it was in rage mode. And there, that was terrifying because that slam down is really strong and probably maybe not like one shot me, but it would have done enough damage for me to be like, whoa, shit. But yeah, so there's the like sort of swooping stuff. I don't know. It's cool, I guess. Also, the this is the same thing with Uragon actually. The area of like getting staggered like that, much less it seems than it is in the later games. Brought some coffee today, so I won't be coughing on you. But anyways, I don't remember. That sucked right there. And yeah, so there's the combo it can do that's like scary as shit. I mean, that's sort of usually like, well, yeah, I'm dead. And I think it can do that sort of like big launch after a swoop, which is, you know, a bummer. Or, well, not a bummer, but it's scary because you have to sort of be wary of what's going on. But for the most part, fighting this thing, like, in between its legs is ridiculously safe. And see there, like, if this was 3U, I totally would have gotten freaking nailed by that. But I didn't, so I live to fight another day. And there I thought I broke the tail, but unfortunately I did not. And now it's almost hungry, I believe, or exhausted. I think that exhaustion system in this game is a really good addition. Because, like, in Free Unite, I don't think it was really in there. Maybe it was. Oh, man. I don't remember much of Free Unite. And that's kind of weird, since it's probably the game that I've played the second most beyond 3U. I definitely played more than this game when I had it for my PSP. Or, well, when I had it when it came out. But there's a lot of improvements that have been made over time. Like, most notably, just the new weapons and new moves that other old weapons have gotten. Like, the great sword, like, smack. I mean, I guess that's not great, but, you know, it has its uses. And it sort of gives you... Actually, no, yes, okay. Sorry. I was just thinking, like, was that actually in Free Unite? And I'm pretty sure it's not. So, carve the tail and sharpen my weapon. Standard fare for, you know, lose the area. I wasn't in a real hurry to, like, kill this thing. Like, I'm not going for record time or anything like that. So, I figure keeping my weapon at blue sharpness not only increases my damage, but also, like, it just leaves me better off. I'm gonna take another sip of coffee right here. Some good coffee. But, yeah, I mean, that's one thing that I see a lot of people, like, sort of neglect is, like, resharpening their weapon. And, I mean, not only does it help you not bounce off, but it also, like, lets you, so there, that's the knockover. These are the humps. When you break them open, you get, like, a ton of damage. I think, so, yeah, you see the blood's, like, splatter? That's ridiculous. I think the highest, like, modifier of damage that you do at least in this game, is off of those humps. There's my computer going to sleep. But it's off of those humps, like dealing damage to those when they're broken. In Freeman, I know for a fact it was Kieran's horn, and because you did 90% of your weapon damage to like the horn specifically, which is ridiculous. Like, I feel like that's something that goes a little bit understated in Monster Hunter games, is like how much damage you actually do to a monster depending on where you're hitting it. Like the head, probably only like 20%. Feet, probably, 25, 23 or something like that. Some weird percentage. But, humps, Kieran's horn, damn. That's a lot of, that's way more damage than, you'd really, sort of expect, I guess. And it's something that's very underrated, is going for those real weak points. But anyways, as I was saying, like, neglecting to keep your sharpness, like, not only does it, let you deal more damage, it also lets you not bounce. But, I mean, the bounce is whatever, because you still deal, like, the same amount of damage you would, but you just lose sharpness at a much faster rate, which isn't that big a deal. And so here, you're gonna see what happens. I'll just leave it at that. It's coming up in a minute or two, so, don't excite yourself. But, I mean, I think the biggest thing is, you don't bounce. And bouncing, like, it's bad when you bounce, because it's a longer recovery than you would otherwise. Like, it's like twice as long. And that can be, like, sort of the difference between getting, like, killed or, surviving and killing the monster. But so when I see people, like, neglecting to sharpen their weapon, like, maybe when you're at G rank and you have purple and white sharpness, that's whatever. That's not a big deal. But when you have... So, boom, done. One hit away. I could have killed them in that last area. When I was like, oh, dang, bummer. But, to finish my thought here, oh shit, what was my thought? That is sort of, my life right now. It's not. But yeah, like, sure, when you're in G rank you have purple and white and sharpness, but once you get past that to blue, like, well, I better take some time to sharpen. If you let it get to green, like, sure, you're dealing damage more, like, not efficiently, but more regularly than someone who's constantly sharpening, but you're not dealing a lot of damage. And I mean, from purple to white, it's not that big a deal, but from white to blue, and then to blue to green, that's even worse. Because it's just like, crap, well, I'm bouncing, so I'm just losing more sharpness, more and more, but at the same time, you're also not contributing as much as you could. And, that's what's a lot of people don't think about when they play this game, it seems. Like, what's best for the team? And, sometimes it's not dying, obviously. But other times it's, dealing enough damage so that you stagger it, so your teammate doesn't get hit by a charge or some. I mean, it's not a big deal, I guess, but it's something that kind of really separates people who are good, like, not, pro level Monster Hunter. I don't think that's really a thing, but separates those who are, like, slated to be good, I should say, as opposed to people who are just kind of meh, like, they're not bad, but they're not exceptional. And I mean, it's sort of like advanced Monster Hunter. Here I was just looking at, like, what I got, but I didn't get anything special. And I'm just looking at some weapons, and I think I show off the, yeah, that's the Duramboros switch X. Use that for like half a second there. And, well, that's kind of, the end of the video. Here, oh, well, I'll show you guys the the quest I unlocked. So we got Diablos, Tigrex, Duramboros, and then a ton of dual monsters. Oh, Agnator, and that's that. So, expect the next monster, one of those, coming up soon. Sorry the video wasn't out this week, or last week, sorry. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and thanks for watching. There won't be a video on Christmas, but thanks for watching anyways.